Always learning and growing. Attracting the right people and keeping your vision in focus every day. This is the Brian Covey Show.
Welcome to another edition of the Brian Covey Show. Super excited today for my guest, Jeremy Forcier, who we've not actually met in person, but we're going to talk through some things, not only life, but how we're dealing with quarantine, how Jeremy and his team have successfully navigated over the past 5+ years, $100 million plus team. And what I've been most drawn to, and why I wanted to talk to Jeremy today, was he has been able to navigate, and I've noticed his ability to adapt and adjust quickly. And one of his posts the other day, I'm sure we'll unpack some, was how in today's world, so many people are on social media, how do we become the content? Instead of posting out the same generic content we see that's republished, you're seeing the same thing over and over. We're going to show you some ways how you can be unique, find your voice, and actually share your message today. So, Jeremy, super excited to have you and glad we finally are able to connect up, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. And listen, this is the new face-to-face. We have met now. This is how we do things now moving forward. So isn't
that the truth? It was funny. We were actually talking about that this week. Is this could be the new normal of when we meet people. I was actually doing a couple of interviews this week, people looking to join the team. And I thought, well, I don't know when I'll meet you, right? Like, I don't know when this quarantine gets lifted in your world and mine, and you train. And so for a lot of us, this has been a cool way to connect with people online. That's how you and I originally connected with Dave Savage at Mortgage Coach, then Super Nice Club, and like all these people who run the same circles. But it's funny, this is the new way to connect. So how are you finding that time and that has shifted for you now that you're not getting to see people like we used to really thrive on seeing people? Now you're connecting up over video more.
I mean, I love it. I mean, that's the simple answer is that I really enjoy it. And it's, I've been using video, whether it's FaceTime or Zoom or, stuff like that for years now. And so it's really cool to see it be accepted out of necessity, where people are like, okay, I'm going to get over it. I want to get on this video thing, right? So I actually love it. I am so thirsty, though, for real human connection, like contact, and being able to give you a bump fist and stuff like that. Like I'm definitely missing that, but I do think that ultimately this is great, and you'll have more people connecting with far more reach, right? Like we don't be in the same zip code to connect on a personal level face to face. So.
Yeah, that's cool. And that's a great point you meet up, because both of us interact quite a bit across the country. And I've actually found, we were talking before we came on live, was that I've been able to connect with more people, and I'm sure you have, that it used to be a get on a plane, fly to this meeting, fly to this market, go here. And today you can just jump on a call and say, hey, you know what, can we have 30 minutes together? And earlier today we were working through a condominium project. We had everybody jump on together, and we were in multi-cities talking. Yeah. And I thought, how efficient is this now that business is changing? And, I wonder if some of those things, like you said, we won't be able to carry forward. And so, right?
Be able to carry it forward, a lot of it. I mean, I think that one of the biggest ahas I've had just from a work perspective, number one, is that I'm grateful that I still get to work. There's a lot of problems right now and a lot of people that are suffering. So I'm just grateful to be able to work in general. But productivity has been through the roof just because I have no choice. I have no choice but to get through what you have to get through and make sure you're at home. My kids aren't in sports right now, so everyone's literally at home with my wife, all 3 kids, doing homeschool, and so I get home. I haven't worked an evening in the last month. I haven't done it. And so becoming way more laser focused, I think, with your time, and realizing, at least for me, I've realized that I thought I was really good with time management and being productive, but there's so much more juice left in that lemon that I can squeeze out that I hope to carry that forward for sure.
Man, I love that, because I know I've watched you and seen how you're one of those productivity hack kind of guys. I noticed you're like, how can I be more efficient here? Create this template, this process, this system. So I'm sure for the listeners, they would love to know, what are a couple of things you've done, either specific to mortgage that we live in, or just in life, as you found a couple of areas that you were able to become more efficient in, or save time and create more time for the things that you really love and value, in that family side?
Yeah. So, wow, that's a big question. I'm always looking for a hack, to your point. So
Yeah.
I'm always literally looking for how can I shortcut something to get more time, right? Because that's the only thing we have is time. So I'd say that the number one thing is just having a morning routine. That's not new news, but I think that having a morning routine is so critical. And that was also the hardest thing that I'm trying to get into a new morning routine since COVID.
Yeah.
And the biggest challenge actually for me as well is creating a new habits, new routines. But creating a morning routine is so critical. I mean, simple stuff like gratitude journal, 3 things that would make today great, affirmations, reading a Bible verse, a verse of the day, simple stuff like that, just to get your mind settled before you dive into anything. I'm a big believer to stay off my phone until I am in the office. So I break the rules all the time, but I'm a big believer in it still. And I remind myself, and I feel that pain every time I break my rules, because I'm like, I'm doing it right now. So I would say morning routines in general are very important. I think that having a tight routine and setting goals daily, not big goals, not goals like annually, and reviewing them every day, that could be important too. But setting micro goals of like the 3 things that would make today great, like writing down things. I did this with my team last week. Okay. I said, hey, I want you guys all to write down 3 things that would make today great, right? And a lot of what they shared was, and you can do this with your kids, by the way, you can do it with anyone. They shared hopes based on what someone else had to do. Okay? And so I got to point out to everyone when we were done that, like, listen, what you're doing right now is potentially setting yourself up for emotional failure, because everything you wrote down that would make today great, like, you have 0 control over.
That's right.
So writing down things like little micro goals of what would make today great. Maybe I don't want to drink any booze today. I will not drink booze today. That's one thing that I can 100% control that might make today great. So I think simple hacks like that.
Dude, I love that, because the 3 things every day is simple that we could all do. As funny as you were mentioning it, I was thinking through, and I didn't even realize it until you said that. I had a mindset shift when this started happening, because I was more the 90, 100 day goal kind of guy. Like, I'm going to do short sprints through the year. We're going to crush it through those periods. And I had those kind of chunked down a little bit. But I did find quarantine style is almost like, okay, I'm going to get through today. And what's today look like? What's my wins for today in family and fitness and faith? And man, I think that's probably one of the biggest takeaways that we all should have is, how do you just appreciate the day you have in front of you and not squander it away and say, you know what, today I'm going to come in with a game plan. To your point, what are the 3 things that I can control and I can go do? Because then your impact grows.
It does.
Right?
It does. And it becomes easier too. Like, at first it might seem hard when you write it down, but I mean, sometimes I write down really silly stuff like I'm going to pay my bills today. I know that sounds dumb, but that's something that, like, I got to do. So I'm going to write that down and make sure it gets done today. Simple. It can be very simple things, but it gives you accomplishment. It allows you to check something off the list and then I completed that, right?
Love
and then you keep going and doing that with anything, whatever the goal is, whatever the activity is, family, friends. Hey, I'm going to set up a virtual wine tasting with my friends. Great. Now I'm forced to do it today. I can control that.
Yes. I love that piece. So for you, I think it was about a week ago, you had a really cool post that resonated with me and it resonated with a lot of people. And you shared, instead of all the posts that are happening out in the world today, where I do feel like some of them, if I see another, COVID-19 or all these other posts that they all look like they were reposted, yours cut through the noise. And you said something very simple, and it was, be the content.
Yes.
We overcomplicate these things. And I think through this, that's a big message. I'd love for you just to unpack that a little bit and share, like, what did you really mean by that? And what was the aha moment for you to say, hey, let's be the content ourselves versus everything else? So
I think I did a poor job on the post, honestly, but it was just, I'm an impulsive, emotional person. When I feel something, I'm like, this is going out.
Boom.
And so there was good stuff in it. The intentions were good, but ultimately my thought process around it was that you see everyone posting the same thing, to your point. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've seen posted recently, like, look at my client applied for a forbearance and then here's what it reports on the credit report. Well, when it's posted by 62 different people that I know I'm friends with, and you all don't have the same client.
No.
So it's just like, it kind of was driving me a little, giving me a little irritation, a little stress that I didn't want to feel. And I just think that number one is that we do have to provide value to people. We do have to tell the truth. It is so important to spread real information right now. And you don't have to know everything. You don't have to know every single little detail as to what's going on any particular topic. But if you read something, and when you read something, by the way, you learn, right? So rather than just copy and paste something, right, that you just read, you didn't learn if you just copy and paste. What I like to do is read, digest, share with my takeaways from it.
Yes.
And that's what being the content is. It's actually owning it and going, hey, I read this article, here's what I thought, and here are my takeaways, right? You have to put your own personal spin on it, and it's not even a spin, it's your takeaways. Yes. It's what you took away from it, and being impactful and sharing that with people. That is content. Content is a delivery system. Okay? It's not like a PDF.
Right.
Okay. It's a delivery system. So when I say be the content, share the content, be the one who's transmitting it to other people. That's what's so killer about video. I hopped on my phone after my workout on that post wearing a sweatshirt and was just like, here's what I'm thinking right now, right?
Yeah.
And get that content out. You don't have to be a news source, right? Or a journalist in order to write like some crazy article. You can literally read something and share, and read something and share, and have it authentically be Brian, right? And you're so good at that anyway, but that's what I meant by be the content, is that and by the way, if you don't know something and you're like, man, I want to share this and be the content expert on this, go learn it.
Yes.
Like, it's that simple. Learn it. Go learn it. Take the time. Invest 20 minutes. Study up on it a little bit. And then guess what? You are the then you can go deliver it.
Yeah. And don't you think that's the content we're probably all attracted to right now versus, the stats and things that people throw out? I mean, I even commented on one earlier today and I was like, well, where's this statistic from? Like, I don't even know. I'm curious. Where did you pull this stat from? Because maybe it's accurate. Maybe it's not. So I'd be curious with you. You do a great job of connecting. I love the sense of humor. You mix that with some professionalism. So you kind of have found your voice a bit there and that personality in a way. What tips would you give to people as they start to become the content a little more, to find their voice, how they can share their perspective on things that they're passionate about in comments that they find that resonate with them?
Well, I think that I'm going to give a guy named Roberto Monaco a lot of credit here, okay? So Roberto Monaco, I did a 2-day kind of like a workshop with him maybe 7 years ago, okay? And this is when I first was just starting to use like screen share video type stuff, and I hated it, okay? I mean, I literally... What I remember I kept saying in this workshop, he would come behind me and we're working on our first video, right? Yeah. And I kept deleting it. And he came behind me and he's got a thick Brazilian accent. And he said, bro, what's the problem, bro? I can't even do his accent, but he said, what's your problem, bro? And I was like, man, I hate how I look on the video. Yeah. And he said, bro, that's how you look. And I said, excuse me? And he literally goes, no, for real, bro. Like, you walk down the street, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you ever say hi to someone? I was like, yeah. That's what you look like, bro. Like, and a light bulb went off, right? Yeah. Where I was like, wait a second. He's totally right. Like, yes. Like, that is what I sound like. That is what I look like. Yeah. Why wouldn't I share? Because I'm already interacting with people all over the place on a daily basis. Yeah. Right. So that was my big aha. Number one was that let your insecurities about yourself go, because you're already alive and walking around in the world where everyone can see you already. Yeah. Okay. That would be number one. Number two is that when you're trying to figure out how to find your voice, it just takes time. And the reason it takes time is that I was a caricature of myself for 10 years. Like, I was a version of Jeremy that like had pieces of authenticity of who I was, but like I was kind of like on stage, right?
Yeah.
Like performing. And
we all know that one.
Yeah, and that, I mean, we can all relate to it if we're honest with ourselves. I mean, I still catch myself. I'm like, oh, I'm getting on stage right now. Like,
Hold up.
You know, but ultimately, it's really the way that you connect heart to heart always is through authenticity.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how big your vocabulary is. I'm horrible with English. My wife reminds me of it all the time. She's excellent at it. I misuse words. I misspell stuff in my post all the time. I could go on and on and on, but ultimately people will connect to you because you have something to share.
Yeah.
And you will always find your circle of people that want to hear it. I mean, there's literally guys on YouTube that have a channel of like how to get all the toothpaste out of your tube, and they have people that watch it. Like, so you can do anything. So whatever your passion is, just start sharing it. Start in text, try a video here and there, practice with friends. I mean, you have so many tools available to you to share message and share passion. Call me, share it with me.
Yep.
And people are interested in other people. So even if I am not interested at all, maybe in exactly what you're talking about, I may be super interested that you're interested in it.
Yes.
And that's fascinating to me.
Yeah, that's really cool, because I think as we're connecting with people now more online, I know all of our time, as we see our screen time at the end of the week, it's like, wow, I'm on that screen a lot. And that's where people are camping out lately. And so I've found now we actually have a platform that people are connecting with us. And I found out a couple cool things about you as I went through. So I would love to know more about this. This is fun. I love these games of like finding out more.
I'm in.
So I found out huge 49ers fan.
Giant.
True? Giant. Okay, that's what I thought. I was looking through. I was like, sports, is football your favorite sport? Is that your go-to there?
No, it's not, but I love it. I enjoy playing football video games more than watching it live.
Yeah.
But baseball is probably my favorite sport.
Okay.
But football is, I mean, listen, they're all up there.
Yeah, we just want sports to come back. That's what I've told us. You could show me anything right now, even my least favorite sports, and I would go and attend and I would show up, as they came through.
I'll tell you what, man, I being home with my kids are teenagers. One's 20 and then the other is 17 and 13.
Okay.
And I will tell you that with the lack of sports watching, though, man, I've been playing sport video games and they're so fun.
Aren't they?
They're the best.
Man, we've been doing all kinds of stuff. We've been training a little bit different. And so my youngest is 4, and then we go 11 and a half. And then my daughter actually turns 13 this Thursday, which is nuts. So I'd be curious as we kind of ebb into that. I saw you got the 3 girls, right? All girls?
So I got boy, 2 girls.
Boy, 2 girls. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah. So switch with us. We've got 2 boys and a girl.
Great.
So all that. What has it been like? I know we were kind of talking about this before, working from home some, being around the family, and the biggest, let's start with the positive. What has been the biggest wins for you having the quarantine and kind of adjusting this new world that we're all in now?
Biggest wins, number one, is it turns out we all like each other a lot, which is okay, because what if you didn't? So
bad time to find that out, right? When you're stuck.
Not a good time, but we actually really enjoy each other's company, and it's been really nice to just slow down a little bit in our interactions with each other and playing lots of board games and card games. And we've just been having so much fun hanging out.
Yeah.
That's been really, really great. So slowing down and just being present. I think I shared with you before we came on, we've had a family meal together that we cooked at home 34 days in a row with all kids, everyone. That's the first time, I think, ever that happened.
Incredible.
Where we have everyone over that amount of time sitting down at a table together 100% every single night and just laughing, making jokes, and just feeling way more connected. And so that's been awesome.
See, and I love that's almost like the reset that we all kind of needed, even though we didn't probably know we needed it. It was almost this like, okay, I'm going to have a pattern interrupt in your life, right? And God comes in and says, boom, now what? Now what do you do? And I've noticed there's two camps: those that responded well, and for all of us, obviously our industry is thriving and things are going really well there. But there's also those that I've noticed, even if they haven't had any illness or job loss or anything, there's a camp that's still, I'd almost say they're a little paralyzed. They're almost in this, is this still happening? We're over a month into it and they're wondering, well, how do I adjust to this? And it's like, man, by the time you adjust now, there's going to be a new normal in 30 days in some states and those things.
Yep.
So I know.
Yep. You have to pivot quick.
Right. Don't you think? And so I've noticed you've adapted quickly. I've been following some things that you've even in business, you've made some shifts. I've been kind of following the content you've posted of you guys have done a really good job of serving your customers. And I think this is global. This isn't just mortgage, but if you have customers and clients that you take care of, that you can serve more than just one transaction in a lifetime, which, we can do that. What have been some of the ways that you guys have gotten creative in staying engaged and top of mind with your clients so that if they are looking to buy or refinance or you're able to help them in any way, how have you guys really pivoted to stay in front of them?
Yeah. So a couple things. One is, once again, it's just seeking connection. It's not seeking to get something. So it's not like, hey, we're doing this, give me something. So we've been doing a lot of community-based events in COVID where we're asking for recommendations of people in need of food, for example, like organizations in need of food, people that are still employed and working, the nurses, the doctors, the EMTs, and all of this that are working around the clock to protect us, as well as just individual families that may need a hand as well in these times. And we have a list every week. We've reached out to our customers and we're letting them know, like, hey, if you know people in need, whether it's an organization or whether it is an individual, this is what we're doing. We're happy to provide food confidentially, whatever they want to do. And we've been serving, around 200 people a week food for the last 4 weeks. And so that's awesome. And that's not something I was doing from a marketing perspective, but what I will tell you is that it's turned into a marketing thing. Right. And people are calling us and we're getting inquiries, and I'm having customers text me saying, hey, I saw this post, I just love what you guys are doing in a local market, and I'm asking for recommendations. Hey, do you have any recommendations of more people that need to be helped? Yes. Hey, by the way, do you think that it's a good time for me to look at my mortgage? I'd be more than happy to if you want to take a look at it. So it does have, obviously business benefit, but you can't do it for business benefit. You truly have to do it to try to serve your community, serve a larger group of people. So that's one thing we've been doing. Another that's really cool is that we've been doing these virtual happy hours, and they're a blast, man. Like, I don't know why people wouldn't do this. Like, it is really, really, really fun. So we've done about 4 of those over the last few weeks. We're doing a stand-up comedy. Like, we hired a comic. Shout out to Miles Weber. He's great.
Nice.
This is his shirt. I bought a bunch of shirts from him. It says Essential and has the mic on it that he created to try to support him because comics are not able to work right now.
Right.
And he's going to come on and do a stand-up comedy show just on Zoom platform, something like this.
Yeah.
And we're going to put it out to all of our customers, and we're going to have a little comedy show virtually. So simple stuff like that, staying in front of people, showing them that you're active still, doing something of value, doing something fun.
Yes.
Really fun. And just staying in front of people, I think, is extremely important.
It's huge. So I love what you guys are doing. I think I saw one of those with the Chick-fil-A. You delivered Chick-fil-A, I think, to one of the hospitals or somewhere. And in our group, we did a Giving Tuesday is what we've started. Right. And so some of our leaders have started that, and you're just finding, local places, like you said, that we can all serve. And if we all chip in and do a little bit, it can go a long way. I love the happy hour. The comedy one's new. I've not heard that, but who wouldn't want some good jokes and comedy right now? And to your point, when in Nashville, we've had a lot of musicians, right? And so that's one area we've had people go on. And what's been fascinating is you could have, 5 different musicians in a band all playing simultaneously, and it's a broadcast. And so some of these, like, how awesome is that?
Yeah. So
like,
cool.
So I don't know if you keep up. for King and Country was doing that. Matthew West did that, a couple local Christian artists. And I thought, how cool around Easter they had done something. And it was just neat to see all these guys performing and still just doing their thing, and it was different. So what does Jeremy do for fun? Since obviously you're married, 3 kids, run $100 million plus team. You do all these other things that you're involved in, entrepreneurial stuff outside of, 49ers and gaming at home and the games. What do you do to kind of cut loose and to have fun in your spare time?
Yeah, man. Well, first and foremost, music.
Yeah.
I go to as many shows as I humanly possibly can. I don't care if it's at, the dive bar right down the road or stadium show, seeing Taylor Swift. Like, I love going to live music, love going down the rabbit hole of music in general. And it's just something fun that you can share with people and share with my kids. I mean, they think that I'm a freak because I know a lot of the stuff before they know, or they're like, have you heard this? I'm like, oh yeah. I have heard that. They're like, how do you always hear the music? So I'd say music is it's just an escape. I mean, it's really fun. And I am not a musician. I am awful. But I just really enjoy that community, the feeling, a bunch of people that like something that sounds good to them. So music's a huge one for fun. And then I live in wine country, man. So I love wine. I really love it. Not just because of where I live, but I'm fascinated by the science behind it, like the farming behind it, how much work goes into it, and a product that can be shared with a bunch of people after. So we're making some wine right now on the side just for fun.
Love it.
Be some shiners. I'll send you one.
Yes.
So outside of that, I just really love to hang out with my kids, my wife, my family. Right now in COVID, what we're doing for fun. This is a great tip for all of you people that are married or have a girlfriend or a spouse or husband, etc. We've just been going to a parking lot, which are basically abandoned these days. Yeah. And we're parking in there. And like we did this last night, date night, and we just watched a stand-up Netflix comedy show in our car. So we got out of the house and we got to a location where our kids were not. And we sat there and we enjoyed some comedy. So
that's cool.
That's basically what I do for fun, man.
I love it. And you could mix, I'm thinking in my head, okay, we're mixing some great music with some wine and where you live, or we're going to have to get you guys to Nashville, because once Broadway opens back up, I know there's going to be musicians and some killer music happening there. So we're going to have to do that piece. So here's what I would love. As you're sharing kind of what you guys do out there, and becoming a top producer, I'm sure is what a lot of people are trying to figure out. So what would be your advice to someone right now as we're going through a shift? And I think it's an opening for us, is at least my belief. There's an opening that wherever you were before this, you could come out the other side of it, this new improved version of yourself. What advice would you give people that are going through this to kind of focus on, so that whether this is 6 months or a year from now, right, and things get a little bit more normal face to face, what should people be working on right now to make sure they're prepared for the other side of this thing?
Well, I'm going to contradict myself, but I think it's important to point that out, because everything's a walking contradiction. So both things that I'm going to share are true. Okay. So the first one is I think you need to be very calm. This is not a time to panic. You need to be very, very calm. And just be calm. That would be number one. And, just be calm in everything that's going on. Something bad happens, be calm. Yeah. Something good happens, be calm. If you can find calm in time of change, you'll be able to see a lot more opportunities that are available to you. Yeah. Now, the contradiction part is, be calm is number one, but you got to be a psychopath and be fast at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay? So you want to bring a calmness to things, but I think that people should be running really hard right now as far as acquiring new business, new relationships. People are hiding in their houses. People are afraid and crawled up underneath their desks and aren't making calls. And realtors are not feeling connected to the mortgage people. Consumers are not feeling connected to the mortgage space or the realtor space. I'm sure it happens in every industry, regardless of what you're doing and how you're listening to this, but connection is the most important. So I would challenge everyone my goal is to talk to 100 people a week, period. It's the only thing that I'm tracking right now. I'm not tracking anything else. I'm not tracking loan apps. I'm not tracking fundings. My team told us what we were doing about a week ago, and I've had my head so down and focused on connection and talking to as many people as I can that I didn't even know, I had no clue as to what we were doing, right? So you have to be calm, but you really have to take massive action right now. You can't be easy. You can't be the person who wakes up in 3 months from now and goes, oh man, like COVID, I got really, really good at video games. I gained like 17 pounds and I drank a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like you got to do some stuff outside of that. So
I love that.
Like just attack whatever it is that you want right now, and you will have an audience that is literally waiting to have connection with someone.
Yes. And so I'm watching the other night, and I love CrossFit and all the workout stuff, So I'm watching these CrossFit games and I'm studying the athletes. And then I don't know if you were a Bulls fan back, obviously, late 80s, 90s, Jordan.
Who wasn't?
Oh, right. I was going to say, I mean, if you weren't, I'm like, hold on, I'm sure you were. And we're watching The Last Dance the other night, and I'm getting to share that with my kids, and to see Jordan and Pippen and even Rodman and some of the others, right? And Phil Jackson, you see, they were obsessed about what they were after. And they were calm in the storm.
Yeah.
But make no mistake, they were obsessed and relentless about how they went after every opportunity and almost in any noise. And I thought, man, as you were saying that, I was like, yeah, as I'm watching this, all great athletes, all great leaders, entrepreneurs, people that do larger things than just themselves, that they get outside of their own imperfections and insecurities, and they do big things, step out and do that. They're calm, but yet they're assertive in how they go. So I love how those things, I think those go together beautifully. That's a great visual for how we could attack the day while being calm through the waves that are going to come at us, right?
Yeah. Just be calm, take massive action. But it's true. I mean, everything you said is 100% spot on. I mean, the reason why elite athletes and whatnot are able to execute at such a high level is because calm equals focus. And that's really what if we're to unpackage it a little bit more, is that when you're not calm, you're distracted. You're distracted in mind, body, spirit.
Yes.
When you are calm, it's way easier to be laser focused on something. Like, listen, I'm talking to you right now. I'm not looking at emails or like figuring out what do I got to do next. Like, you just have to be present, right? And if you can be calm, it'll allow you to super hyper focus on what's most important to you.
I love it. So one of the questions I love to ask the people that join is, who are some of the people right now that you're reading, their books, podcasts, that are having an influence on you that maybe some of our listeners don't know, haven't checked out yet? Who are those people right now that you're kind of leaning in on and learning from?
So one gentleman's name is Roy Mason. He's awesome. He's got something called GEM, GEM online. He's an evangelist. He's just a great guy. He's been a mentor of mine for almost 5 years now. So I always tune into him because he's always got good stuff to keep me focused in spirit where I need to be. I'm not listening to too much stuff right now, is the truth. Andy Forcier, I've been listening to his podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I've been listening to a podcast called Nice Work. It's the Super Nice Club.
Yeah.
So you're wearing that shirt, I see. Yeah. So Super Nice Club I've always been following just because, the spreading of niceness and just to create a world where everyone's 10% nicer. I'll tell you what I'm not following is politics. I'll tell you what I'm not following is the COVID fear. I'll tell you what I'm not. I mean, I'm really only following things right now that make me feel good. And I'm not, and you can say that that's naive, and maybe it is, but I'm living in a very insulated bubble right now of just things that are good. I'm reading Made to Stick right now is the book I'm reading. And yeah, just pour into things that make you feel good. If it doesn't make you feel good, stop doing it. Don't read it and don't pay attention to it.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't that be great advice now, wherever you are? And for all of us, we're going to face setbacks and challenges, whether it's in this season or we have previously, or it's years ahead of us. And I think you've given some people some great mindset things to think about and how you approach whether times are good or times are challenging, right? Remain calm, but get in the game. Don't just be a participant is what I'll share with people is that you have to get in and compete every day.
Yep.
Like you sit on the sideline or you get in the game just to participate. No, we got to compete. We got to show up, give our best, use what we've been given. And so, Jeremy, thank you. I know we could probably go on for a long time and continue to go. I think what you've shared is very timely, very impactful. As I was writing some things down too, you went back to being the content and the things that you shared around just being positive and nice, that 10% every day. And I love how you're right now leaning in with the family, balancing out all the things and all the hats that you may wear, but yet you're calm. You're calm in the face of whatever storm that comes. And dude, you're having fun while you're doing it. So we got to get you to Nashville. And
Nashville.
Yes. You and your wife, Kara, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got to get you guys out here. We'll get some wine. We'll get some music. And my wife, Nicole, and I will take you guys out and we'll actually get to connect, not just virtually like this, but in person. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Cool, man. Any last words for the listeners that you've got?
I would say just remember, you brought up a storm and seasons. I think it's so important for all of us to remember that we're always either in the middle of a storm, coming out of a storm, or heading into a storm. So it's just the truth. So just because the storms change doesn't mean that there aren't always challenges. We're faced with challenges every single day, whether it's right now in COVID or whether it's anything. Let's remember that. I've been really trying to hammer that into the people that I get to lead here at work, of that, like, let's not go, oh my gosh, this is so awful. No, we complain about something every day, no matter what, in our line of work. So it just remember that you're either in a storm, you're heading out of a storm, or you're in the middle of one, and it's okay. Storms are part of the growth process.
Oh man, I love that. That's going to be definitely something that we use. So thank you so much. And thank you to the listeners for tuning in. This has been an awesome time with Jeremy Forcier. We're going to include some links in here as well to find Jeremy. But Jeremy, if they want to find you quickly, where can they find you on social media and to track more of your journey?
Sure. I'd say Instagram's probably the easiest, at Jeremy Forcier, just my name. Facebook, feel free to look me up on there. It's just my name, Jeremy Forcier. Shoot me a line and would love to connect with you.
Awesome, guys. Well, this has been another edition of the Brian Covey Show. Cannot wait to connect with you guys on the next one. See ya.
Subscribe, rate, and review the Brian Covey Show today. Go to briancovey.com.